Welcome. You're listening to Ask the Doulas, a podcast where we talk to experts from all over the country about topics related to pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and early parenting. Let's chat.
Hello. This is Kristen Revere with Ask the Doulas, and I am thrilled to chat with Jayme Bess today about embryo donation. Jayme is the founder and CEO of Acts of Kindness Embryo Donation. Acts of Kindness is a team of compassionate women who help intended parents start or grow their family through embryo donation. They embrace all family types and offer a comprehensive range of options, including non-identified, anonymous, semi-open, and open donor-recipient relationships. Their dedication to inclusivity drives them to provide resources tailored to each individual's unique needs, ensuring that everyone receives the support they deserve. Above all, Acts of Kindness is focused on offering hope and opportunity to all, and to give each embryo the chance life it deserves. Welcome, Jayme.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here this morning.
So I would love to hear more about how you personally became passionate about embryo donation.
So a few years ago, I was working as a financial counselor for another fertility group, and we just decided that, donor conception was really expensive. So we decided to offer an in-house program at a cheaper rate, and this is how we started embryo adoption, was through fresh donation, and just offered it as a cheaper cost. So over the years, the need for that program just grew because it was a more affordable option for everybody. And from there, we just decided earlier this year to break off from that company and start our own. So that's kind of where we are today. We've refocused and we decided just to offer different options and focus more on those who have gone through IVF procedures in the past and had embryos left over that are looking for a recipient family to donate their embryos to us and for us to find recipients for those.
It is so beautiful. And as I mentioned to you in a prior conversation, I had a doula client years back who went through that process of donating her embryos. And I was fascinated by that. And she spent a lot of time finding the perfect match for donation. So I love that there is a service that helps connect families, and that you made it easier because it took her so long to be able to donate her embryos.
Yes, private matching can be very difficult because there's a lot of steps involved. That's just a very intricate process, especially with several of the different REI labs and different clinics. They all have different stipulations on what they will accept and won't accept. So just having a service out there that provides that support is invaluable for these people.
Absolutely. And so as far as the work you do, you serve anyone, anywhere, correct?
Correct. So we are trying to branch out and go global. We're actually working on one case now that's being shipped to Iran. So that's pretty big for us.
That's huge.
Yes. And we've dealt with one in Canada so far. So we're just looking to expand our services and really open this up to anybody who's looking for a more affordable option to grow their family.
Can you give us a range when you say affordable about what that would look like financially for a family?
Yes, so we don't actually charge for the embryos themselves. We don't sell embryos. We just have an exclusive package that's a flat fee that's for our services and the transfer of ownership paperwork, and our package is $7,000.
Okay, that is affordable.
It is. And then if you stick with our partner clinic, which is in St. Louis, Missouri, their FETs are only $3,000. So for a total of $10,000, you can go ahead and do your matching with your embryos and have the FET treatment.
Okay. And how
That's
long?
usually about a third of what IVF costs.
Yeah, exactly. So I am familiar with those costs for IVF, and that is big savings. And so as far as the length of time a family would have to donate, do you have any tips on that? So how many years would an embryo be able to be good for as far as matching?
We've had embryos older than 20 years that have been donated to us. And as long as the embryology team at the accepting clinic knows how to thaw the slow freeze methods and is able to use them, these embryos can go as far back as needed.
Fascinating.
Exactly. So they're all frozen at like a day 5, day 6, day 7, sometimes a day 3, and they just don't develop past that. So when they unthaw, it's just like they're fresh.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So, as far as you mentioned IVF and different family planning methods, so what does your typical family look like? Have they tried IVF and that wasn't successful and looked into adoption? I would love to hear more about like what you're seeing as far as your
You
clients.
know, it honestly really varies. We see a lot of different aspects of life. We see them all the way from, hey, we're a young couple who's tried IUIs who just can't afford IVF, so we're going to start here. Genetics just don't matter to us.
Okay.
We've seen some who have done IVF 9 times, and it's just every time their egg quality is not good, or it just doesn't inseminate, or for some reason they're all abnormal egg quality factors. They come to us for that. We've also seen women who are older, who were career driven and just didn't preserve their oocytes in time, who want to come back and now have a child in life.
That
So it's
makes
just
complete
all
sense.
different ranges. LGBTQ plus, we cater to them as well. We're friendly, so that's another great family building option for them as well.
Yeah, I saw you pride yourselves on being inclusive. And
Yeah.
so that is fantastic. And as far as the process go, what would the average length of time be for a family from beginning to work with you to the the process of being matched and beginning the journey to conception?
So it honestly can go pretty quickly. The way our program works is when we get a donation in, we actually bring those embryos on site to our clinic. So the
Okay.
embryos are all ready to go, ready to match as soon as we find a recipient. We house everything online in our online database that's available to our recipients for free. So what they do is they go in and they look at the donor profiles. And if they want to match with one, they just hit reserve now. At that point, we'll look at the donation preferences just to make sure it's a good match for everybody. And if the match looks like it matches everything up, then we'll go ahead and complete the adoption basically. So it can go as quickly as 24 to 48 hours for them to match and have the adoption completely completed. And then they can either come to Arbor for the FET, which normally takes about 30, 45 days to set up, or they can have
Okay.
it shipped off site, which may take 1 to 2 weeks. Within 30 days, they can match and have their treatment done.
That is amazing. And are surrogates involved?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
So their surrogacy is tricky. Gestational carriers require a lot more FDA testing on the embryos than some of them do have because a lot of these are patient donated embryos. They were created for sexually intimate partner use and
Yes.
then did not have the infectious disease testing. Some of these donors don't want to have that done afterwards either. They are still FDA compliant. You just have to put the warning on there. It carries the risk that infectious disease can happen from the transfer of these. But some clinics, especially the ones that are dealing with GCs, just won't accept those.
That makes sense.
So that's
Fascinating.
kind of the hiccup we have there. But we do get other embryos in that were donor treated that have all the testing. So if we're dealing with a recipient who's using a GC, we normally tell them to look at those profiles first because we know that those are more widely accepted.
Okay. Excellent. What are some common questions that you receive from potential clients?
Usually it's how long does this take? What
Yeah.
does the embryo grading mean? Will my clinic accept these embryos? How does the process work? They're all just really fascinated with it because it's still new.
Right. I'm fascinated. So I love learning about all of the options for families.
Hey, Alyssa here. I'm just popping in to tell you about our course called Becoming. Becoming a Mother is your guide to a confident pregnancy and birth, all in a convenient 6-week online program. From birth plans to sleep training and everything in between, you'll gain the confidence and skills you need for a smooth transition to motherhood. Live coaching calls with me and Kristen, tons of expert videos including chiropractic care, pelvic floor physical therapy, mental health experts, breastfeeding, and so much more. You'll also get a private Facebook community with other mothers going through this at the same time as you to offer support and encouragement when you need it most. If you'd like to learn more about the course, you can email us at info@goldcoastdoulas.com or check it out at thebecomingcourse.com. We would love to see you there. We also have a book called Supported, Your Guide to Birth and Baby, which makes a beautiful companion to this course. It's a great book for any expecting mother and is the perfect baby shower gift. You can find information on that book at supportedbook.com.
Definitely. And then the one thing that we did do differently is that we offer all the different types of donation and adoption cases. Most of the agencies just focus on either private matching, directed donation cases, or they're anonymous, where we actually offer all three. We offer the closed donation, the semi-open, and the open. So our recipients do find that to be very proactive, and they come to us for that reason because we cater to all the different types.
Yes, does seem like it's a rare service. So what does semi-open entail?
So semi-open is basically we utilize this third-party program called EDC Donor Nexus. And what that is it houses the donors and the recipients' information as far as like their demographics, their stories, their medical history. And it requires that they report back every 2 years with any changes that they may have. And then that program also allows them to opt in for secure communication. And in most cases with semi-open, they'll go in every 2 years and give updates. Sometimes they'll send pictures. And then once the child turns 18, they've agreed to meet up, those kind of circumstances.
Okay. And that's so helpful that they're able to share medical information that could be needed for the child later in life.
Yes, especially if it's a split recipient, because then you can add both recipients and every family gets each other's updates. So if there's half siblings out there that are actually true siblings, you can see where they're at in life as well.
I love that. And then what would a fully open donor mean to?
It's along the same process, only they just stay in communication more and they have the option to meet up in person.
Oh, okay. And then obviously anonymous makes sense. No information's given.
Right. No contact information is exchanged. However, with us, we do have all the physical characteristics, the genetic history, the medical history of the family, and photos are shared. So they do have a lot of the information. It's just no contact.
And is that medical information updated over time, or is it just at the time of donation?
Just at the time of donation, unless they opt in to share that through that platform.
Okay.
That is optional with the closed cases.
And another question I have for you, Jayme, is as far as the families who, again, are considering their choices and what to do with the remaining embryos, why should a family donate?
So really, you only have a few options when it comes to your embryos and what you're going to do with them. The most obvious one is to continue storage, which is going to cost you roughly anywhere between $500 to $600 a year to continue storage on those. So if you're never going to use them, you're just paying on something you're not going to ever utilize.
Yeah, that's expensive.
It is. It can be expensive over time. The other option is to medically discard them. And let's just be honest, when you medically discard something, you're putting it in a red plastic trash bag and you're just throwing it away.
Right. Yeah. And so people who, are pro-life, for example, that is important to them, then that may not be a choice. They would be able to.
It's hard on your morals. Yes, definitely. So the other option would be to donate it to medical research, which there's a lot of programs out there that just do not accept them anymore.
Okay.
So that is hard to find. And then the last option, which we're hoping to bring more light to and make it more widely known, is donation. With donation, you're actually giving your embryos a chance at life and to be able to thrive again.
Right. Yes. So I didn't realize that there were as many options. I didn't even think about the medical research aspect with embryos, but as you mentioned, that's so limited.
It is. We actually started a new program with student teaching program that will accept any abnormal embryos for medical research and for student teaching.
Okay. So what else should our listeners know about this important service that you offer?
Really, that it's just out there. It exists for anybody who's looking for a different way to grow their family. We would love to see this more known for people, more accepted. Usually donor conception is not talked about very often. because it just seems kind of bizarre in some ways to people. So we want to break those barriers open and just let them know that this option exists and it's okay. And we would love for you to check us out and just recommend us to anybody that's looking for this service.
Any other final tips for our listeners, Jayme?
Really just help one another, life goes on no matter what happens, and that wherever you're at in this fertility journey, we know that it's painful, but we're here to support you in any way that we can. So even if you're not looking for this as an option and you just need somebody to talk to about where you're at your journey, we're here for you as well.
So how can our listeners find you?
We're available through our social medias and also our website, www.aokembryos.com.
Okay.
And from there, you can kind of see all of our different resources. We have a donors page, a recipient page, and then one that you can go to for extra support if you're looking for extra support on your journey. We're available on Instagram at aokembryos.com, as well as TikTok, and then on Facebook at Acts of Kindness Embryo Donation.
Excellent. Well, thank you for offering this service to, as you mentioned, globally now, to the world, and for the work that you're doing. It's so important.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure sharing with you guys, and stay out there and continue to share positivity, hope, and joy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jayme.
Thank you much. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ask the Doulas. For more information about Gold Coast Doulas, visit us on our website, goldcoastdoulas.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Thank you. Remember, these moments are golden.